This is the story of a young boy who, besides having a girlfriend, falls in love with his half-sister and starts clapping her in bed. Let's find out what will be the end of both of his relationships. The movie opens with an 18-year-old boy, Tadek, who is running from a ticket collector on a train. He is traveling to see his older half-sister, but doesn't have a ticket. He chooses to get off before the train reaches the next station after a brief chase. When he jumps off the train rolling over to a safe place, a local Romani girl named Irmina notices him who is in the town for summer vacation. Later he makes his way to an old apartment where he used to reside with his mother and half-sister, Anka. Anka has lived alone in the apartment ever since their mother passed away. On the way to the apartment, he also picks up his sister's favorite flavor of pistachio ice cream. He puts some perfume on his neck as soon as he gets to the apartment and rings the bell. Anka opens the door being topless, expecting her boyfriend, but covers herself instantly upon seeing her half-brother. She extends an uneasy welcome for a few seconds before inviting him inside, saying she hadn't expected to see him by now. The boy is obviously drawn to his half-sister, since he is staring at her, while she gets ready for a date. Anka, however, observes that her brother has grown up. Her boyfriend Andre comes up outside the apartment a short while later, and honks loudly. She informs her brother that Andre is a good man. Before leaving, she shows her affection for Tadek by doing a naughty act. Tadek wants to go into his old room while his sister isn't home, but he discovers it's locked. When he peeks in through the keyhole, he discovers that the room is filled with boxes. Having nothing better to do, he rearranges the furniture and spends the entire afternoon lounging in the chair. Anka and Andre return to the flat late that night, highly drunk. Both of them are playing with each flirtatiously. They enter the room where Tadek is sleeping. She asks her half-brother to go to the kitchen and starts enjoying their time in the bed. Meanwhile, Tadek closes the door and falls asleep on the couch. The following morning, Tadek finds his sister's boyfriend getting ready for work. Andre is a charming man who attempts to talk to Tadek right away and announces that he will soon marry Anka. Andrej promises to be friendly with Tadek. Later, Anka wakes up and asks Tadek why he decided to visit her. Anka had sent him away to live with their aunt a few years ago. After giving him a few coins, she asks him to get lunch outside. Tadek notices some beautiful girls, including Irmina, relaxing in the sun next to a playground. He makes an effort to start a discussion with Irmina. She is fully covered up, in contrast to the other girls who are dressed skimpily. When the boy leaves, she jokes with the other girls that she will marry him. After saying goodbyes, she leaves for home. Irmina discovers a car parked outside her house, even though she isn't aware of it at the moment. The owner of the car is Latos, a prominent member of the Romani community. He appears interested in getting married to Irmina. While they have lunch together, a rival gang unexpectedly attacks, smashing the glass of his car and taking off. Anka returns home with a new dress, which she tries on and shows Tadek in the meanwhile. He tells her that she looks great in the dress and gives her a compliment. She then reveals that she didn't have enough money to purchase it and that she would have to give it back the next day. Tadek cooks delicious food in an effort to win his half-sister over as the days go by. He even suggests in joke that they aren't related by blood if they have the same mother but different fathers. Anka isn't in the mood for this kind of talk, so she politely inquires as to how long he plans to stay with her. She draws attention to the fact that there isn't enough space in the flat for both of them. Tadek, who is a little offended, asks that she take the storage boxes out of his room so he has a suitable place to reside for the summer. Tadek discovers Anka's pictures later that evening and looks at them with considerable curiosity. Two men arrive in the next day and begin packing everything from Tadek's room. Then he finds Andre, who kindly tells him that he can get back his room. Andre discloses that he would be departing for a few days on a business trip. Later on in the afternoon, Tadek plays football with a few of his neighborhood friends, including Göring, who is Andre's employee. He informs Tadek that his sister's boyfriend has strong political connections and is capable of doing anything on a local level. While revealing a shocking secret, Göring discloses that Andre is a married guy having 2 kids, who travel frequently to see his family who reside outside the town. Following this, Tadek immediately goes to his half-sister and reveals everything he heard about her boyfriend. To his surprise, Anka already knows Andrei is married. She blames his wife for ruining his life and warns Tadek not to draw conclusions about things he doesn't know. She then reveals that she called their aunt earlier, who told her that Tadek was supposed to come back a few days ago. He makes up an excuse, pointing out that he wants to stay here as all the good universities are nearby. Anka knows the reality behind it, and she marches to his bed furiously, where she finds her clothes beneath the mattress. She asks him to find a hostel to live in, and calls him a pervert. Their argument is suddenly interrupted by a government electrician, who is waiting downstairs to give her the bill. He attempts to make inappropriate physical contact with her, after he charges her for not paying her electricity bill for a few months. She pushes the man away, and requests 1 week to settle the bill. Upon her arrival upstairs, Tadek is furiously preparing his belongings for departure. It comes out that a few years prior, Anka had left him to live with a distant aunt, in order to keep the apartment to herself and her boyfriend. She stops her half-brother from leaving and pours her heart out, since she is plagued by this guilt. The siblings then gave each other an embrace while sobbing. A few days later, Tadek begins working part-time and delivering vegetables at the neighborhood market. There, he runs across Irmina again, and they finally strike up a conversation. They sit together, and after a while she starts reading his palm. She predicts that his love life will be very messy. She later tells him boldly that she will marry him in future. This makes Tadek happy, and he asks her to teach him how to read palms as well. When he returns home, Tadek finds Andra having fun with another woman in the house. They see him, but Tadek closes the door immediately and locks it from outside. He runs from there. Meanwhile, Andrei continues pleading to open the door. Tadek starts telling about the scene to everyone around him. Afterwards, Anka arrives and sees what's happening. She becomes furious and asks her boyfriend to leave her alone and never come back to the apartment. Instead of going, Andrei remains calm and says that he will be back after a few days to clear this misunderstanding. Later that night, Tadek goes to Anka's bed and tries to console her. This time she doesn't get angry at him and asks him to return to his bed. The next evening, Tadek goes to Andrei for dropping off his stuff. When he returns home, he finds his sister cleaning off the spilled ice from the fridge. Anka reveals that the electricity has been cut off since she hasn't paid the bills for several months. After this, Tadek starts doing several side hustles to help his sister paying the bills to restore the electricity. He only manages to make a low amount of money. While doing some assignment in the market, he notices Irmina. He tells Irmina about his situation, and she asks him to meet her later if he wants to make money. After some days, Tadek walks to Irmina's house that is located in an area where a large community of Romani people live. As soon as he enters there, several boys surround him and threateningly ask if he belongs to the gang that attacked local leader Latos Kar a few weeks ago. Fortunately, Irmina arrives and saves the Tadek by lying that his father is a policeman. Later, she tells him how to make money easily after getting him out of the trouble. The plan is to be a thief now. Later that night, they climb to the roof of a warehouse with a plan to steal an expensive carpet. The next day, Tadek tries to sell the stolen carpet at the market, but the shopkeeper is not ready to pay the real price of it. Disheartened, Tadek leaves the deal and tells Irmina that he is unable to sell the carpet since he is getting very low price. Irmina then tells him to watch how she will make the deal. She goes to the shopkeeper and tells him that it is a Turkish carpet having a great quality. She then points out that the material used in the carpet is good, as it does not cause allergies. Eventually, the shopkeeper agrees to buy it with a good price. Later, Tadek comes to know that he still does not have enough amount that is needed for the electricity bill. Then Irmina tells him that she will bring the rest of the money soon. Later at her home, Irmina serves food to Latos, who is now frequently visiting her. She knows his intentions to marry her. That is very irritating for her. She tells him she wants to become a doctor before getting married. Latos responds that being a doctor is not possible for her. The men just laugh at her, which causes her much distress. Not even her mother will support her. They made this statement because women have traditionally been confined within the home. This makes her furious. She steals some money from her dad's wallet and leaves. Tadek receives the money from Ermina, and he uses it to pay his apartment's electricity bill. Thanking the Ermina, he assures her that she can rely on him at all times. Anka finally takes a sigh of relief when the lights in their flat flickered back on that evening. She takes a bath, while Tadek brings her favorite ice cream. He heads downstairs when the doorbell rings. He finds Ermina outside, who seems a bit disturbed. She wants to talk to him, but Tadek says he is busy at the moment. She feels disappointed and leaves. He rushes back upstairs, gets undressed, and dives into the bathtub with his half-sister. Anka becomes enraged at this and yells at him to respect boundaries. But she approaches her half-brother that very night, telling him she knows he wants her. She goes on to say that a brother's feelings for his sister are not normal. Tadek, who is devastated, begins to cry and confess his love for her. He wants to be with her. There is a moment of silence, and then Anka goes on top of him, and they start having fun in bed because she thinks it would help him relax. Everything starts to go smoothly until Andrei gets back to town. Tadek first succeeds in tricking him by claiming that his sister isn't at home and can't see him right now. But when Tadek comes back, having purchased 2 movie tickets for himself and his sister, he discovers Andrei quietly waiting in the kitchen. He reveals that he is here because Anka called him. Tadek shouts that he will kill Andrei or do something with himself in a fit of wrath. That evening, Andrei brings Anka to a party hosted by an influential politician who will soon be appointed as a minister in the central government. Tadek is also at the party, but no one is able to see him because he is standing a distance away. The politician inappropriately touches Anka while she is dancing. She initially dismisses it, but later complains to Andrei about his conduct. She is taken aback when he dismisses her worries and says he might be appointed as deputy minister soon. This does not calm Anka down, who loudly utters a harsh remark and rushes to the bathroom. Later, Andrei follows and tries to calm her down, saying it's not a big deal. He also asks her to go to the hotel with soon-to-be minister and makes him happy in bed. Anka refuses to do this, angrily grabs her by the hair, but immediately gathers himself. He promises to take Anka home immediately and offers his apologies for his actions. However, when they exit the restroom, he places her in a taxi where the politician is already waiting for her. She comes out of the car and slaps Andrei. She then shouts on the politician to leave her alone. Feeling deceived and embarrassed, she goes back home with her half-brother behind. However, she forbids him from entering the apartment, causing the 2 siblings to break down outside the door. Sadly for Tadek, things are going to get worse soon. A huge celebration is being held in the Romani family to celebrate Irmina's marriage to Latos. A rival gang breaks up the festivities by throwing gasoline-filled bottles into the wedding, starting multiple fires and upsetting everyone. While quietly wandering by, Tadek notices Goring, his friend, fleeing the Romani neighborhood. Goring reveals that he recently took part in upsetting a wedding celebration, refer to Ermina and her family. Tadek becomes furious and throws him to the ground, letting out all of his anger on him. Afterwards, Tadek visits the place where he and Ermina used to hang out frequently and breaks down in tears. Soon after that, Ermina joins him in her wedding dress. When he asks if she'll flee with him, Ermina gives him a hug and tells him she's getting married. She returns home later, where her husband is waiting for her. Tadek arrives home from the terrible night emotionally destroyed. Anka tells him that his bags have been packed so that he can leave. She invites him to share the final tastes of the pistachio ice cream he brought her a few days ago. What message do you get from this story? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. You would love these stories too, so please check them out. Also, subscribe to the channel for more amazing content.